And we're back with an all-new episode of Keep It. I'm Louis Fertel, and you know what's running through my veins today? Tiger blood. I'm so sorry to make that reference, but we will be talking about the Charlie Sheen documentary this morning. Guys, 2009 in popular culture, if you were there, you know. And if you weren't, I'm happy for you because it was downright exhausting. My guest host today is a fabulous writer, somebody I used to know from a place called, I'm trying to remember the name, Twitter. And you would have fun on it and speak on it. We talk about this with our guest today, too. But she is a producer and writer on Ghosts on CBS, one of the last strongholds of network television, the fabulous, the stunning, and the hilarious Akilah Green.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. I'm just excited to hang.
Me too. Talk anything. I'm so sorry it's Charlie Sheen in a way. But...
I know. What is your kind of relationship to Charlie Sheen? Like, what's your access point to Charlie?
Well, he was for a time an extremely quotable celebrity.
Okay.
And sometimes in a way I really loved. Like when he claimed openly that he won Best Picture, which meant he starred in the movie Platoon.
Love that for him.
He did not win the Oscar.
But I love that hustle.
Yeah. Hustle, delusion,
sure.
Right? Something in between there.
But it gets you places is what I've learned in life.
Oh, no, it never doesn't work out
Exactly.
for those people. Like if you push yourself into rooms, what can happen? It's like awkward for everybody else to turn you away.
Exactly.
You know?
I love that. I watched the documentary and realized that I don't think I've seen him in anything.
Yeah.
So I only know him from just like, I think Tiger Blood and Winning. I think that was like the splash that I have of him. And then I watched this documentary and my question was, why now?
Yeah.
Like, is there something coming out? Like, does he have a project? Is he getting ahead of something? I couldn't figure out like, I know someone was asking for it, but who?
No, right. It's almost like he was worried people started to forget, and he's like, it's just time to remind everybody.
That's really what it felt like.
But he's also getting ahead from men because
there we go.
He gave interviews where I guess he said he experimented with guys sexually when he was on crack.
Sure.
And I just want to say what a boon this is for the gay community.
That crack turns you gay?
Yes.
Is that
I know you guys had all been wondering, Louis, what is his X factor? And I'm here to tell you, Mom and Dad, what really went down.
What I thought was interesting, the way he phrased it, is that he was like on round number 12 with the crack addiction. And he said his sexual appetite had grown wilder than it had been before. So he flipped the menu over to the other side, which is how he described.
He's at Applebee's. And he's like, I'm
What's
sick of the
I'm
sick of the appetizers. Let's get the desserts, etc.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. Other than that, I was kind of like, all of these things we'd heard before. Like, yeah. So that I did think that the women in his life, his two ex-wives, there's a third one who I guess did not want to participate in the documentary.
And I can't imagine why.
Sure. And Heidi Fleiss, whose name I had known, but I just don't think I knew that she was the Hollywood madam.
Yes.
The three of them all kind of are of the same vein of like broads.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like a
certain kind of long bang in the hair. Yeah.
Like they all look like they need to have a cigarette in their mouth, even if they didn't have. They had cigarette in the mouth energy.
And you know that we're allegedly getting a biopic of Heidi Fleiss with Aubrey Plaza coming up. And the casting is dynamite.
I'm interested.
Like that world weary. There's just, there's a kind of smoker, and you were just describing it basically. Someone who belongs, there's no other place in the world they belong at a slot machine.
Yes.
Just like,
yes,
intensely looking, like dreary, world weary.
Maybe flicking the ashes in an empty rum and coke.
Oh, are you Hunter S. Thompson? This vivid imagery.
Heidi Fleiss, when they got, it seems like she was maybe in her home in Malibu. She's cussing out her parents.
Yes,
and I was like, who is this? But beyond that, I think like him expressing his new sexual appetite was like, I don't know what else I took from that. I loved his relationship with his father. It seems like his ex-wives and his children seemed to really be fond of him. And so I thought that was a nice way. I needed a nice ending.
Yes. No, it's nice that there was some of that there because at the time, the news cycle was so, there's no other word for it, chaotic.
Yes.
That it's like they could have all landed any different places.
Yes. They went through that whole when he got fired from 2.5 Men.
Yes.
Which I've never seen a frame of, but I do remember that firing was pretty epic and he like burned down all the bridges. And then he went on that tour. It was like a one-man show tour where he was basically like F everybody and had such a following from that. And I was like, oh, yes, we've been rewarding problematic men forever.
Oh,
we
yeah.
love it.
We think it's amazing.
We love it. But it's just the idea that he told his boss off. People were like, fuck yeah.
No, right. No, exactly. That there was like a rogue energy to him just being like, I'm done with my very popular job where I'm being paid a ton of money.
The highest paid TV actor of all
Yes.
time.
Shocking. Yes,
Yeah.
very interesting. No, but speaking of CBS, you also are a CBS employee.
Yes.
You write for Ghost.
Yes.
Which we were talking beforehand, is just a great show for fucking jokes.
Yes,
like you go
thank
to the
you.
show for the jokes, you get the laughs. It's like traditional. Is it a
Yes.
pleasure to work for because it provides that kind of old school entertainment?
The room is so fun because, the jokes on the page are just a percentage of the jokes that are cracked in the room, So we have a great time. What I love about Ghost, because I've worked on a number of shows, and some of them nobody's watched.
Oh, sure. Been
Many
there.
of them, and then many of them people watched and did not like. And so this is a show that people watch and like, including people in my family, which feels really good. It's one of my favorite rooms to work in, which is a very close-knit group of people who like to hang out in our free time, which I haven't always experienced. So we go on vacations twice a season that we pay for out of pocket.
You're a little cult.
A little cult. We are. No, I'm having a blast on that show.
Oh, that's not. No, I at Kimmel, I'm the only gay writer.
Okay.
And usually that would mean by commandment, I don't hang out with these people.
Okay.
And yet I go to all their effing birthdays, and they also are unfortunately hilarious.
There you go.
And I don't have to code switch either.
That's fantastic.
No, it's shocking.
Yes.
I'm actually a little bit upset. I thought I had like a philosophy about the world, and they
Sure.
ruin it. Yeah.
Damn it.
Anyway, this episode, we have a lot to talk about. First of all, we're going to get into the Emmys, which
Yes.
were this weekend. You and I both have experience with the Emmys.
Yes.
I wrote for one, and so did you.
And we wrote for the same one
Yes.
during COVID, so it was all via email. So we never were in the same room. But yeah.
And by the way, I recommend writing for an award show that way, where you just send in a bunch of jokes and let somebody else
Please.
put it together.
Please. I've worked for a handful of award shows, and there's some where we sat in a room for 10 to 5 every day. And I'm like, this is not necessary for what we're doing today.
No, absolutely not. So we'll get into this year's Emmys, the winners, the snubs, etc., the surprises, and the host, Nate Bargatze.
Yes.
And how he did. And then our guest today is one of our favorite people, the hilarious Jaboukie Young-White, who's in the new movie The Threesome with Zoe Deutsch, whom I loved in that movie. Everybody Wants Some. She's also good in this movie. We'll talk to him about being funny, about his Daily Show days, about Twitter, and how we miss what Twitter was.
The good old days.
That's why we know each other.
That's right.
She would make a joke. I'd be like, oh, thank God you're here.
And you have a particular type of joke where if I'm scrolling through Twitter and I'm not seeing the name, I know you wrote it.
Yeah.
Always showing love to an old Hollywood starlet.
Oh, no. If you saw the words Anne Margaret, you're like, oh, Lewis is awake.
Yes.
That's what's happening. Anyway, that's what's going on this episode of Keep It. We'll be right back with more of our episode. Keep It is brought to you by OneSkin. Guys, I'm thinking about my skin constantly. I went to a pool party over the weekend. I say hi to everybody, and then immediately what happens, I hide in a linen closet and put on sunscreen for 1 year. And OneSkin is there for the journey. They know the stakes with this extremely white, extremely pale, chalky, but ultimately endearing skin. Known for cult favorites like OS1 Body, OS1 Face, and OS1 Eye, OneSkin stands out for their science-first approach, delivering hydration, barrier support, and powerful longevity benefits in a single step. Customers consistently rave about how their skin is smoother, firmer, and healthier looking with results that get better over time. No wonder OneSkin's products have over 10,000 five-star reviews. OneSkin is the world's first longevity company, targeting cellular aging to keep your skin and scalp looking and acting younger for longer. For a limited time, you can try OneSkin with 15% off using code KEEPIT at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code KEEPIT. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Try OneSkin today. Your future self will thank you. Keep It is brought to you by Armor Colostrum. We live in an age of unprecedented access to information, innovation, and opportunity, but also one of environmental and societal stressors that our biology was never designed for. From microplastics to chronic digital exposure, endocrine disruptors to industrialized food, modern life is hijacking our health at a cellular level, leading to decreased energy, brain fog, which I'm experiencing right now, and accelerated aging. Armor Colostrum is nature's original superfood packed with over 400 bioactive nutrients that restore your body's resilience from the inside out, strengthening immunity, fortifying gut health, and elevating focus so you can stay sharp, energized, and at your best in a world that demands it. We've worked out a special offer for our audience. Receive 15% off your first order. Go to tryarmra.com/keepit or enter Keep It to get 15% off your first order. That's tryarmra.com/keepit. On Sunday, Nate Bargatze hosted the 77th Emmys. That is too many Emmys. 77.
How many more are we going to have?
I'm going to guess 2. On CBS. It was television's biggest night, and we're going to get into the biggest moments from the shows that won it all to the charity bit that nearly lost it all several times. Akilah, why don't we start there with the boys and girls gag? How did it land with you? If you guys didn't see the Emmys, Nate Bargatze set up this bit where when a winner's speech went too long, you would see on the screen this money designated for charity would dwindle away the longer they wasted time. What did you think of that bit?
First of all, I thought it was cute as a gag, and then it went on for too long. But I will say that it did help put a cap on these speeches, and it kept the award show from dragging on forever. And that I appreciate, because I feel like nobody's really inventing anything new. I didn't think I was going to win. I didn't prepare anything. I want to give a shout out to my soulmate, my rock, my heart outside of my body. I'm crying and blah, blah, blah. It's like we've seen it all before. So unless you're inventing something new, cap it at 45 seconds.
You're right. I guess that there is an upside to this bit that I think everybody agrees kind of failed, because we went back to it too many times. And too many of the speeches then ended up being about the bit.
Sure.
So it cut into the thing we want, which is these speeches.
Right.
You know, the Emmys don't have any distractions. Like there's no musical performances.
Sure.
There's not really like tributes to old TV other than like, stars of old TV shows may come and be presenters for an award.
Right.
So it's like we really are in this award space just to hear these people give speeches. But I think the thing that bothered me about this was I didn't feel that the host dialed into any of the particular people there.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, he acted as like a referee and nothing else.
Which was interesting because I liked him as a host.
Yeah.
And he's not Kimmel, right? So he's not been doing it forever. And it doesn't seem like he's friends with a lot of people in the audience.
Right.
So he couldn't quite work the crowd and do a bit because nobody really knew him that way. So in that way, he was a bit of an outsider and kind of an underdog, which made it easy for me to kind of root for him.
Yeah.
I also feel like the reason they kept going back to this bit is because they didn't have others that they felt comfortable with. And if they didn't feel comfortable with it, I'm glad that we didn't see it.
Yeah.
And so this felt like what his thing. And I think he ripped a little bit off of what he had just seen with the presenters before. So I enjoyed his energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy, again, keep it tight. I think that the Boys and Girls Club bit, will put pressure on winners to give us something good.
You're right. And by the way, I want people to be novel with this speech.
Yes.
I have something I can't get over. Recently, when Quincy Jones died, Rashida Jones gave a speech at an Oscars special ceremony about him. And in the speech, she said, and by the way, you should go check out these albums by him. She went specifically through his career and taught us about it. And I was like, that's so novel. Like you thought about, you have this captive audience of like arts lovers, whatever, and you're actually teaching something as opposed to just saying this person was great. And it like set something off in me. Like I want more people to take advantage of the fact that we are paying attention.
Use the time wisely or be really funny.
Yes.
That's it.
Right. Hilarious. And we had a number of hilarious winners, I think, this year. Luckily. Who were your favorite winners of the night?
Tremel Tillman. I enjoyed his speech. I enjoyed how he started it. He was embodying his mother. I love that he gave her a shout out. I love that it was quick. I feel like I've never gotten into Severance. I tried. I couldn't get into it. But he made a mark. He made an impression on me. And I appreciated that. Hannah Einbinder, she started off being like, I was ready to commit to continuing this narrative of it being cool to lose, but like I guess winning is rock and roll. And I was like, that's so relatable. She had like girded herself for another loss, and then I thought that was fun.
And also, that's like actual comedy. Oh,
yes.
You came up with something smart and novel to say about your own participation in the ceremony.
This is what I mean. And then the little adolescent kid.
Man, and also when I looked at all the nominees, I mean, it's just like usually, in a way, I don't root for children to win because I want there to be a mystique to acting that only adults can access.
Love that.
Like when Tatum O'Neal won the Oscar, I'm like, did all the other nominees feel like shit?
Well, yeah, what
like
the hell
Madeline
is this?
Kahn's like, I'm amazing. What happened?
Right.
But on that show, and of course, Owen Cooper in Adolescence, that was his first ever role.
That's what I mean. Like he earned it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was a hair-raising performance, just like everything in Adolescence was hair-raising. And of course, Erin Doherty also won. She plays the psychologist in the episode where he basically admits what happened. And then Stephen Graham, the co-writer, he won every Emmy in sight, including Best Actor.
Who was so adorable. And I kind of, like, I don't really love when people are super earnest, but I enjoyed it on him.
And also, I guess he's just the world's shortest person.
He is, and so cute.
Who knew? When you have that kind of gruff exterior,
He does
and
have
he looks like he runs like a bowling alley,
boxing
like
club.
a Navy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, he had a real sweetness to him.
Yeah.
And it's such an unusual project too. Like audacious in one way because it's every episode is one shot, but also just the idea that you can just not pull focus away from what's on screen at all, and it's compelling at every moment, even when seemingly nothing is going on. Like, I don't even know why this was an idea he had.
I love it. It's a feat, and I'm really glad that they got rewarded for that. Them and the studio were like, to me, I feel like the night's biggest winners, right? With the most awards.
What are your feelings on the show, The Studio?
I enjoyed it. I'm a Seth Rogen head, though. I enjoy whatever Seth is putting out. I'm going to give it a shot. Episode 2, I think, is the one where they had the one shot. They were
a one-shot episode, yes. Greta Lee is the movie star who's filming a scene, yes.
And I was on the ride. And then it felt like every episode after that had that same kind of chaotic energy. And I was like, okay, it's a lot for my little heart.
Yeah. I feel like something that show had trouble reconciling for me was it wanted to be not slice of life, but like hyper realistic and telling you exactly how the industry is in one way. And then also so broadly funny and with character types that were so jarringly stupid that they didn't belong in almost any reality, seemingly.
Are we talking about Catherine Hahn's character?
Well, the deal with Catherine Hahn's character is I feel like they're making fun of somebody I haven't met.
This is what I talk about with my friends. I do not recognize this character. I've been around execs for a while. I've never seen this person in nature.
You know, she has this sort of gruff, I'm going to call it Susan Powder energy, like somebody who used to have like a workout empire or something. But she's this exec who works in the studio, and she's just alpha, I guess is the word. But it's extremely loud and never subtle.
But always in like B-girl attire. Yeah. Like she's, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like not even streetwear, like something else with like big gold hoop earrings and maybe a nameplate and maybe like a tracksuit with a stripe down the side. Like
a giant water bottle.
And like a big, like what? I've never seen you before, ma'am.
You know what she's kind of doing is Juliette Lewis cosplay. Like somebody who's going aggro all the time.
Sure,
a
lot of that, yeah.
And I'm not saying she's incapable of doing that, but it's just like, it feels like a joke I'm not in on.
I think that's how I felt about it too.
You know? But I am glad that show won because it's so memorable too. Like the look of it, Catherine O'Hara is so fabulous on it.
Yes.
Not that I didn't like her on Schitt's Creek, but here it's like, she's in her full power. And it makes you realize like, we basically had this woman who, you know, we know from Home Alone and Heartburn and Beetlejuice and all sorts of things, but we basically didn't do enough with her for 20 some years. And for what reason? It's like she was too Canadian to like raise her hand and say, use me more, you know?
Right.
So it's like upsetting to me. One of my favorite winners of the night was the lovely Jeff Hiller from Somebody Somewhere, Bridget Everett's show, which is canceled. He clearly was shocked to win. I think it's one of the few shocking wins of the night.
Okay, right.
Clearly an underdog win. And he went up to the mic and said, thank you for putting us in the same network as the sexy teens of Euphoria.
Yes.
And you know what fucking happened during that win that I love, that always happens during award shows? When the gay guy wins, they need to shoot to somebody else and they pick every other gay person in sight. They're like Bowen Yang, Michael Urie.
I love that.
RuPaul, headshot of Harvey Milk.
Sure.
You know?
Get some B-roll in
Eleanor
there.
Roosevelt allegedly in a history book. Before he gets to the stage and gives this lovely speech, wearing an outfit that can only be described as your grandma's couch.
And he's like 6 foot something, so it's a lot of this outfit.
It was a lot. It was the same silhouette as RuPaul.
Yes.
It was like they came in a set during like a Dolce & Gabbana show.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. He was also on my list of like best winners. I can't even remember what he said, but energetically I was touched.
Yes. No, and it was just the right amount of planned funny.
Yes.
And enough time to act, you know, odd and grateful, etc. So it was really cool to see.
Because what I can't handle is when you cry too long. Like, you know what I mean? Once you start shaking your voice and blah, 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 like, let's wrap it up.
You know, I mean, like, I know it's a historic speech. And
I know we're going to think
Halle Berry.
Oh, I was going to say Anne Hathaway.
Oh, well, that's different. Well, the problem with Anne Hathaway was, she was just stuck in a moment she couldn't get out of. People were like a little sick of her. And she was like, I'm going to come in with a joke that references the one line people know from Les Miserables. And people are like, oh, Anne, punch it up.
To me, it was also, you're a movie head. Have you seen Story of Us?
Yes, of course.
Michelle Pfeiffer's last monologue, where it's just like, you can only do that for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I can't handle it for longer than that. And so we got a little trimmer from Jeff, and then we were done. That's enough for me.
Also, maybe I'm just too Midwestern. I would be so, worried about wasting people's time.
This is what I mean.
You know, there's an efficiency to language that we can use here.
I also think, and I think Nate Bargatze said this, is that we now have social media. So you say your little piece here, and then you go write a whole notes app on your get on Instagram and let it loose. But like, there's 30 of you guys. We can't do this all night.
What do you think of the little captions they put on screen for certain winners where they said they'd also like to thank? And
I think I missed it.
Yeah, well, under certain winners, they were just like, oh, here are the other people they meant to get around to thanking. I think that works. But at the same time, it also feels like you're reading like a Post-it note or something.
I missed it. So I'm not, it feels like keep it.
Yeah, right.
This is how I feel.
You're dialing in.
Yeah,
yes.
It feels like it.
Let's see. Who were your favorite presenters of the evening?
Okay, so Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah. Okay. So I was at the Emmys the other day.
Oh.
Backstage, we're doing the yearly bit Guillermo does with Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
And I didn't get to hear her speech. I saw her speaking, and from what I could see, it looked like she was out there way too long, like bombing. But then I watched it back later and thought she was great.
I think if you were watching it in real time, you also were wondering if she was bombing, but then she never did. And so she kept us on the ride, and then she landed the plane. I thought she was, the whole bit was like, winning this is not going to change your life. I still get left off of the group chat. I thought that was super fun. My favorites were Ray Romano and Brad Garrett.
Okay, talk about a bit that you might have thought went on too long, where Brad Garrett and Ray Romano of Everybody Loves Raymond we're talking about the old days of their show. Must be 20 years since it began. And Brad Garrett was saying, like, you're doing so much better than I have. And it turned into this, like, despairing sort of back and forth.
So I love Everybody Loves Raymond. When I was in law school, I didn't have time for TV, so I only watched Everybody Loves Raymond, Mad About You, and Golden Girls DVDs.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
It was a great lineup on loop for 3 years. And so Everybody Loves Raymond is...
Something might be wrong with you.
Sure.
Okay.
My brain is broken. But I love them. And so I felt like they had the same comedic timing and the same great jokes that they always had. I was like, give them another show. And I'm kind of anti-remake. But I was like, I'd see those two on the screen doing something again.
Well, first of all, we did get the weird Mad About You remake on Spectrum TV.
It hurt my heart. I haven't found many remakes that I've enjoyed.
No, I mean, who was like hurting for that Frasier reboot? You know, it's like we literally want to watch the old episodes. We want to immerse ourselves in the culture of that time.
Yes, and I think all of these shows, these 90s sitcoms have tried to like appeal to a younger generation, but no, we want it problematic. We want it all white like you had it before, okay? Because you don't hang out with Black people and that's okay. We liked you then, you know? Yeah.
A memo to the 2000s. You didn't hang out with Black people then and we love it.
Don't put it on now, you know? I mean, you know, I'm going to zip it because I was about to get on a roll about which shows that I don't like, and I don't like to crap on other people's shows.
No, everybody on Everybody Loves Raymond is hilarious. I love Peter Boyle. I love Doris Roberts. Just legends. My favorite presenters of the night were actually Ike Barinholtz and Kathryn Hahn.
Okay.
Who did a bit about how the writers are the least important part of the television process. And so they stood up there and told the teleprompter people to turn it off. And then they just spiraled and said things like, Noah Wyle, you're so good on Scrubs. That was great.
Yes.
That felt to me almost like a bit like Kristen Wiig and Will Ferrell would have done 10 years ago.
Tina Amy bit. Yeah, for
Tina
sure.
Amy.
And it was their spiral was just unfunny enough. Like,
yes.
Because sometimes you could script the spiral and it's still funny. This was awkward and bad, like it should have been.
Yes. Just the right amount of exchanging glances and not knowing what to do while keeping it sort of on track. Jean Smart won for Hacks yet again.
Yes.
Are you a stan? How do you feel about Jean Smart?
I'm a designing women girly.
Oh, you may stay a keeper.
That is
I could rank the designing women.
Yes, that's my show. Done, 10 rewatches at this point. So I'm super grateful that she's working, not just working, but killing it at the top of her game, looking incredible.
Yeah.
She always serves it when she gets up there on those stages. I have not seen Hacks in a few seasons, I'll say that. So, but I'm glad that she keeps getting accolades.
I guess my feeling about her is I do think she's been actually, I don't know about better, but more hilarious in other roles. I think the show is funny.
Sure.
It's a very pleasant show. Like you can sit through it and like all the characters are and have gotten more relatable over time. Like I love Hannah Einbinder most now on the show.
Sure.
But you're right. Designing women. We used to have shows where the whole point was let's have these characters get pissed and then monologue for a long time.
Come on, Julia Sugarbaker.
Yes. No, I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that Dixie Carter was a Republican in real life.
She served it. It was shocking when I think we all collectively learned that at the same time, and we're like, how?
Why? Yes.
Why?
No, and she just has that, I call it all neck acting.
Yes.
Where just everything is like jolted and strained
Sure.
here. If you know Judy Davis, she's the queen of this. But you just trust that people who have that much stress going on in their body.
But there is kind of a Karen-ness to Julia
True.
Sugarbaker that you could see kind of veer into Republic. I could see where she's drawing from.
And also, it's a show you can tell was actually created by a woman.
Yes.
Some of these shows, I'm like, oh, I can hear the 7 men dialing into what they think Blanche Devereaux would say in this situation.
Yeah.
Linda Bloodworth Tomasin, Queen. The Traitors won again. Are you a Traitors fan?
I've not seen The Traitors. Love Alan Cumming, though. What a delight anytime Alan's on screen.
I also just think he's the rare case of somebody who blends seamlessly, like in this way that Rosie O'Donnell used to. Somebody who like belongs in MC positions, will play the MC on Broadway, and then will just be an actor, and then will be a comic. He kind of belongs everywhere. If he released an album, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think intro to Alan would be The Anniversary Party with Jennifer Jason Leigh. Have
Yeah,
you seen this? Yes.
Also, I love that friendship, and I love that movie.
Yes, such a good movie.
Oh, Keila, I love that movie. I haven't thought of it in forever.
I might have to just rewatch it.
Jennifer Jason Leigh is an amazing actress once every 6 times. And then you watch her in something else, you're like, you're screaming or whatever.
That's a tough stat.
Oh my God, when she's in The Hudsucker Proxy, I'm like, oh my God, you're barking at me.
Oh no, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, she's a great actress. And I'm still getting over how much we hit her in The Hateful Eight.
I don't think I saw that either.
Well, don't worry, you can go.
Hit her or hit her?
Hit her.
Oh.
Yeah. In the Quentin.
Oh, no.
First of all, if you haven't seen The Hateful Eight, you can go to the New Beverly where it is playing every motherfucking day because Quentin wants it that way. But otherwise, yes. And she was on that movie or that TV show Atypical. Good show. Otherwise, let's see what else happened during the ceremony. Have you seen The Pit?
I have. I've seen every episode, and I'll tell you, I've never in my life seen a medical drama until this show.
Like not a single episode.
I've never seen a frame of ER. I don't know what's happening.
I watched quite
there.
a bit of Grey's Anatomy, and I saw a ton of ER. So I'm familiar with No Island.
So this is fresh for me, and I watched all of it.
What do you think this show? What's the X factor of this show? Because I too didn't even think about it and watched the whole thing.
Kept it moving.
Yeah.
You hit me with something new every 5 minutes, I really enjoyed the cast. Oh, another winner. I'm going to mess up her name.
Catherine Lanasa.
Okay, loved her.
She was great on the show. I think she dialed the show in, like made it seem real.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed her character. And I've seen her on social media, and I think she seems like a cool chick.
Yes. And also, I brought this up on the show before, the most amazing 3-marriage combo of all time. She used to be married to Dennis Hopper.
Oh.
And then she was married to French Stewart of Third Rock from the Sun. And now she's married to Grant Show from Melrose Place. What a combo.
Did not know she was racking it up like that.
Yeah. I have to say my problem with this season is the active shooter part, because I loved the show when it was just, here we are a day in this crazy place.
Yeah.
And we have all these interns who are like learning the ropes, and we have a couple of doctors who are experienced, and there's some lingering characters walking in and out of the hospital, and we don't know how dangerous they are. That to me was enough. When they queued up this actual this concert event that turns into this unmitigated disaster,
right,
it felt too, unearned is the word, but like it felt obvious.
You didn't need it.
Yeah. Like you've brought up this event enough times and now it's just, I don't know. It felt very, the rest of the show had enough faith in just the characters and lack of a real storyline just to follow that. And then it's like they lost faith in that.
Interesting. I also feel like their production team is great. They were like, we can do it.
Yeah.
Watch us. We can do this.
Yeah. And it is a lot to watch. It's a lot. I think what a lot of viewers consider a triumph is that Kristen Milioti won for The Penguin.
Yes.
First of all, this woman has been in everything over the past 15 years. Seems rad altogether. And then in this, I can't believe I'm saying this, she defeated Cate Blanchett, and I'm okay with it.
Okay. It was earned. I have not seen The Penguin.
Imagine me watching The Penguin most of the time. Does that sound like something I would do?
Okay.
I actually did. It is worth it.
Okay.
And Colin Farrell is, of course, mysteriously now one of our greatest actors.
Yeah. Mysteriously. Yeah.
And I'm just saying, I remember watching him in like supporting roles in the 2000s being like, all right, he is deeply hot. And then we put him in, remakes of like Total Recall. I'm like, this is the kind of actor you are. And then Banshees of Inisherin happened, and I said, wait a minute, you're amazing.
I love that. That's what you want in your career.
You know.
Was this Kristen's first Emmy?
Yes.
That's exciting. Good for her. That's great.
Now, Outstanding Talk Series. I can't officially root for Stephen Colbert because our show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, was also nominated. And yet, on our own FYC posters, it says Jimmy says, I'm voting for Stephen.
Oh, I love that.
So, okay, I'm not that magnanimous. I want to win.
All the time.
But how did you feel about that moment when he was announced as the winner?
I mean, it was lovely. I mean, I feel like Stephen Colbert is kind of representative of that era of The Daily Show, with the first time Jon Stewart and kind of all the spinoffs, John Oliver, Samantha Bee, Jordan Klepper. I feel like Robin Thede had The Nightly Show, Larry Wilmore, and I feel like you see that kind of coming to an end.
Yeah.
And I feel like Colbert, like that show ending, is kind of really driving it home that era is ending, and so that's tough.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I am so psyched he won. I mean, like what has happened to him is utterly unprecedented.
Yeah.
You know, this Trump tinged situation is very precarious and strange and terrifying. He is also, of course, a very strange multi-hyphenate. When you watch him on Strangers with Candy, you're like, how is this the same person? Like, he is a demented sketch actor who loved seemingly being weirder and weirder, to the point when the Colbert Report happened, it was shocking that he could turn this into an entire nightly enterprise. You know, to this day, it feels like such an undertaking, like real hardcore character work going on every single night as he delivers these hard jokes. I remain shocked at the incarnation he became on CBS, where it was just, I'm a relatable person.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know he had that in him. So for the sheer versatility of what he has brought us, I'm so psyched he won.
Yes.
That said, God, do I love winning. I came to this industry to win.
Understand, you and Charlie Sheen.
That's me. Can I say something else about Charlie Sheen? He really impugned the word winning.
Winning.
Back in the day when you would have Facebook profiles.
Yes.
It would say your interests. My number one thing was winning. Like,
Love
I'm
that.
here for that. You know, I want to win a game night and be not invited to the next one.
Because you were that obnoxious.
Ding.
I love that. I love that.
Except then he turned it into this sort of like aggro man thing. I'm like, that's not, it's supposed to be fruity.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The quote was like, winning so radically in our underwear before you even had your first cup of coffee or whatever. That's something. It was like, okay, you've taken it too far.
No, don't be Maya Angelou. I don't need this to be a verse
from you.
Yeah. So I continue to be mad at him for that. But
congrats to him.
Yes. And also Stephen Colbert handled the speech wonderfully too. Though, so he quoted Let's Go Crazy by Prince. And he said, when the elevator tries to break you down, go crazy. And then he said, and then punch a higher floor. What was that?
He's of an age.
Okay.
I think, he added like a dad spin to it.
I just didn't know that you could just add to Prince lyrics.
Stephen Colbert said, I can.
Right.
Like, I did.
It was like if somebody did the lyrics to When Doves Cry, and then they're like, actually, doves don't usually cry. What actually, like, an ornithologist jumps into the...
And you're kind of like, well, you didn't even have to start with that quote. Nobody, that wasn't required by law.
I'm still coping with the fact that we're quoting Prince.
Yeah, you could have done your own thing.
Yeah. Okay, great. Though I will say, the show did basically run on time thanks to this gimmick. So I kind of can't wholesale hate it, even though I am sick of award shows run by people who think we don't want to see the award shows and we want to be shamed for watching them.
Interesting.
You know,
how does that, like, what are the things that are markers of that to you?
Well, just like the entire, like, don't let your speech run too long. It's like, guys, when else is a woman just speaking on television?
Well,
sorry.
And as I've been of two minds, because I also want them to like wrap it up, because at some point I stopped watching award shows because they just go, because you get the clips and the highlights, you don't have to watch the whole thing. So I think maybe the last one I saw was like when Will slapped Chris, and real, like, that's the last one.
A good one to end on.
That's the last one I've watched in real time, and so I'm on the one hand I am like, 3 hours is too long. On the other hand, these winners have starved themselves for a month to get on this stage. They've shellacked, buffed, scrapes. You know what I mean?
They're a bowling ball.
They're hungry. They're desperate. Family is watching. Their outfit is uncomfortable. I do believe they've earned a moment to get on that stage and at least just kind of pose for a second and say a few words. So on that front, I understand. Like, let them have a moment.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, make it count.
Yeah, make it count. But again, it's like, when else do we hear a woman speak? When else do we hear men of the arts, * speak?
Okay.
When are my people,
men of the
types?
arts.
Yeah.
I hear you. Okay.
To put a euphemism on it.
I see.
But anyway, otherwise it was, I think, a very successful award show. We'll be right back with more Keep It, but before that, some quick housekeeping. LA, you're in luck. Every week, Angelinos can catch Love It or Leave It, which I guess is another show on this network, live at Dynasty Typewriter. Think of it as an ongoing embarrassment of comedy riches. This Thursday, September 18th, the lineup includes Colton Dunn, Michaela Watkins, and more surprises. And if you can't make it then, no excuses next week, Thursday, September 25th, when Lovett is joined by Representative Eric Swalwell, comedian Paul Scheer, and more. Tickets in the full lineup are waiting for you at crooked.com/events. All right, when we're back, we're joined by Jaboukie Young-White. Keep It is brought to you by Helix. Do you know why my back just hurt a lot recently? Because I got a massage. That means the massage went wrong, right? Anyway, I went to go sleep, and then finally, I was recovered. And I'll tell you why. Helix was there for me, as it always is, every single week. Helix knows there's no better way to test out a new mattress than by sleeping on it in your own home. That's why they offer a 100-night trial and a 10 to 15-year warranty to try out your new Helix mattress. Everybody is unique, and everybody sleeps differently. That's why Helix has several different mattress models to choose from, each designed for specific sleep positions and feel preferences. So how will you know which Helix mattress works best for you and your body? Well, take the Helix Sleep Quiz and find your perfect mattress in under 2 minutes. I took this quiz seemingly decades ago at this point, and I still remain a midnight lux. You know how I sleep. I've got one leg up, like a body outline on Homicide: Life on the Street, and I sleep soundly every single night. Your personalized mattress is shipped straight to your door free of charge. Go to helixsleep.com/keepit for 25% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/keepit for 25% off site-wide. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/keepit. Today's episode is sponsored by strawberry.me. Let's be honest. Are you happy with your job? Like, really happy? Yeah, I'll give you a moment. The unfortunate fact is that a huge number of people can't say yes to that. Far too many of us are stuck in a job we've outgrown, or one we never wanted in the first place, but still we stick it out. And we give reasons like, what if the next move is even worse? Grim. Or, I've already put years into this place, and maybe the most common one, isn't everyone kind of miserable at work? But there's a difference between reasons for staying and excuses for not leaving. It's time to get unstuck. It's time for strawberry.me. They match you with a certified career coach who helps you go from where you are to where you actually want to be. Your coach helps you get clear on your goals, create a plan, build your confidence, and keeps you accountable along the way. So don't leave your career to chance. Take action and own your future with a professional coach in your corner. Go to strawberry.me/keepit to claim a special offer. That's strawberry.me/keepit. Every time I wish the internet didn't exist, I remember this week's guest and hold my tongue, because a world where I didn't have access to his comedy 24/7 would be a deep nightmare. You know him from generally being rad, but he's also a stand-up, a former correspondent on The Daily Show, and an actor in Rap Shit, Only Murders in the Building, and his current film, The Threesome, in theaters now. Please welcome to Keep It, the fabulous and fucking hilarious Jaboukie Young-White.
What's up? Hey, thank you for having me.
My God, thank you for being here. I can't believe you haven't been here before. I can't believe you haven't been drafted by like governmental intervention to come here.
No, it's kind of fucked up. Like, I don't know how I slipped through the cracks like that.
Well, thankfully, you're in this adorable movie right now. But first of all, my question is, nothing baffles me more, and this goes back to like comedians through the ages, even people like Roseanne, and I'm about to compare you to Roseanne, so just be aware.
I get that all the time. So
but like when people who are like verbally funny, just comics, then go into acting, that feels like a complete skill shift, and I don't understand how people do it. How has taking to the big screen been for you as somebody who is just an awesome comic?
Thank you. Wow. I'm taking a moment to just absorb all those compliments that were peppered in there. But it has been easy in a lot of ways, hard in a lot of other ways. I find that just from doing stand-up, you kind of develop this really naturalistic way of speaking where the goal is to try to seem like you're just coming up with it off the spot. But then kind of beyond that, I had to really stretch some muscles. Like I was like, wait, so I can't just like sort of throw everything away and just kind of like be breezy. Like I actually have to create like an arc. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Maybe I should like see someone for that. So yeah, then I just started working with a coach, and honestly, a lot of fun. I love acting.
I would say, I don't know if you remember, I consulted on Rap Shit for about 2 seconds toward the end, and you used to kill it all the time. We used to love for you to be at table reads because you were about to hit it out of the park, and so you were so great as Francois Boom. I think you were a music
Yes,
producer.
Francois
You were just
Boom.
a delight every time you came on screen. So prepared, so good. So that's interesting. So how long have you been working with your coach?
Wow. For maybe like a few years now, rap shit was that was when I was like, okay, I really am enjoying acting and I kind of want to start taking this more seriously. Um so serious to the point that I walked around with that fuck ass Francois Boom goatee. I don't know if I can swear, but
You sure can.
I had this goatee that I was not pulling off as Jaboukie. And I wore that for like 6 months.
Okay, so you went method.
I really did, and it was not easy. It was not easy to live with a goatee instead of like my little Bushwick mandatory gay mustache.
That's interesting that you say that's when you started really enjoying acting. Was there a hiccup before it sort of took for you?
Well, I think it was something that I thought was fun and was cool to dip into every now and then. Uh, but I never really been in something that was that long term of a project where we're thinking like episode arcs and like season. It was more so just like I drop in, I'm goofy for a bit, and then I go home, which I love. I love doing that still, but it was fun kind of taking it a little deeper.
What was it like in this movie? You co-star along with Zoe Deutsch, among others, where you just have to imitate the part of being good friends with people. Is that something you could do immediately, or is it, a grand lie?
As I do it more often, it's getting easier and easier, but it is not something that I can do because in real life, I really don't do that. Like my friendship is earned. It really is. I hate an over familiarity. Like off rip, I'm like, we haven't gotten there.
Yeah.
You need to pull it back. I'm a little too Midwestern for that. I think I'm like, I need you to be polite first. We need to talk about the weather, warm me up, and then we can get into the like busting each other's balls part. Yeah.
Also, one of my favorite movies you've done was Come On, Come On a couple of years ago with the fabulous Joaquin Phoenix and the fabulous Gabby Hoffman, who was a great interview on this show too. What were your experiences on that movie? That filmmaker also has not missed for me once yet.
That was honestly maybe rap shit isn't the right place for me to place that acting journey just because I remember in that project working across from Joaquin was like that was where I was like, I have so far to go. Like this is someone who is at the top of his game and was just a force to work with. And also Mike Mills, Beginners, life-changing movie for me. I remember, spoilers, it's about his father, basically, who like came out later in life, who inspired the film. I remember watching that being like, I have got to get gay fast. Like, I cannot wait that.
You are lagging.
I can't wait that long. That's not me. So it was kind of like a full circle moment working with him.
That's also the only movie I've seen that has the LA gay bar Akbar in it. And to this day, I'm like, there's a level of realism in that movie that nothing else can achieve because that's just the ground level, normal LA gay experience going to fucking Akbar.
I have not watched it in so long. I need to rewatch it now. Because you're so right. There is a dearth of Akbar on screen for sure.
No, also LA gay culture and period. There's just not too many movies that actually cover that. But also you, Akila and I have something in common, which is we come from a now forbidden zone called Twitter, where you would once upon a time enjoy sharing opinions with other people, little jokes, things like that.
Remember those? Oh my God, I missed them.
Back when Twitter used to be fun.
Jokes.
Yes, there would be little jokes. We would all share them. Do you at all kind of long for the heyday of Twitter the way some of us do? I mean, now you go there and it's
a war zone?
Beyond that.
Yeah.
It's like 70 wars. You don't even know which war you're looking at.
That's so true. There's like no way to neutrally be on Twitter anymore.
Right.
Like everything is so charged. I do miss that era of Twitter, but I think more in general, I miss that era of the internet. Like,
sure.
It felt like we had this cultural appetite in the late aughts into like the mid 2010s where everything was like, I think the flagship of this was Girl Talk.
Yes.
You know, where it was like mashup culture and everything is high-low, everything is referencing a million different things. And there was like an inherent curiosity that we had with culture that I feel like is gone. And not even necessarily of our own doing. I think that algorithms are driving us to only want
Sure.
more and more of what's easily palatable to us. So yeah, I do miss shit posting.
I do have to
You
say,
were great at it.
You were the definitive to poster, maybe.
Didn't you get suspended? What did you do there? It doesn't matter. Those were the days where it was a badge of honor to get suspended because you shit posted.
Yes.
My shallow elitist take is that I miss when a blue check meant something. when you couldn't pay for it and we all kind of knew each other and that's how we all communicated. Those were the
Right.
days.
You know, what's weird though is that I feel like I've developed a third sense where I could see a blue check and I'm like, that's not real. That one's not real. You know?
I think that's
It's like
99%.
It's like an Ersatz Academy Award you can buy on Hollywood Boulevard or something. You're like, it's too small. Yeah. What are your recollections of having worked on The Daily Show, which I feel like that to me is a more kind of logical jump from the world of Twitter, where it's like you get to do commentary, you get to kind of inhabit the persona you already were. Did that feel like a more sort of authentic place to jump than acting initially?
You know, yeah, I feel like it was more of a logical, at least for how I was being perceived and what I'd put out into the world at that time. I think it just made the most sense. And it's also nice to get paid to be opinionated. I'm sure, as you know.
Slay.
Yeah, right. And I just remember taking in that much news was like straight up some Clockwork Orange type shit. Like actually, like just showing up to work and plugging into the machine was really crazy. And they had this cold brew machine there. Some of the best cold brew I've had in my life.
And probably the most necessary cold brew. I mean, people who are involved in the news in any way, whether reporting it or having to respond to it, I honestly think caffeine should be reserved in a federal way for only them.
Yes, that is so true. There should be like a government designated cold brew factory. 100. We should bring this up to Zeron, actually. I know some people.
He can make it happen.
I'll put in a word.
So I'm curious, so you, like we said, we started with stand-up and Twitter, Daily Show. Kind of what are you looking forward to next? What's next for your acting career?
What a good question. I feel like I'm really open. I think the industry is changing in a interesting way that I'm not trying to cling too tightly to ideas of my career that I had earlier. I'd rather just sort of be aware of the landscape and see if there's any opportunities to do something exciting or new or unexpected. I feel like that's kind of what's exciting me right now.
It's nice that you said it's changing and not just diminishing or going away altogether. Thank you so much.
Because I couldn't handle that this morning.
Yeah, right. Me weeping as like white knuckle this table, knowing it's all going away soon.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's gone away so many different times.
Sure.
True.
You know, it'll always just like take a different shape. Who knows what that shape could be? Maybe we'll all be streamers, but we don't know.
There is some optimism to that, and of course also peril, but we'll see which way it goes. Now, it must be said, a little bird told me, we have a mutual friend in common who is one of my all-time girls, Patrick Rogers, who I don't normally call, he is so legit when it comes to knowing pop culture, and I don't know many of these people, but he told me that you are a deep stan of two people. He said Charlie XCX and Addison Rae, and I don't know that I would have actually predicted either of those, but tell me, Addison Rae is kind of a new interest of mine. I love the last album, but what does she do for you?
So what Addison and what Charlie do is, for pop music, for me, I need it to be pushing it to the point where it's almost egregious how much they're smashing the dopamine button. And I feel like Charlie does that. Addison does that. I think the first 3 tracks in her new album, perfect. A pop song called Money Is Everything. That's all I need. That's what I'm going to pop for. Like, sell me fantasy, like give me like capitalist idol. That's what I'm going to pop for. And then also the production on it is just really great. I think that she's doing something that's very, like, the production on it is very studied. It feels referential in a way that's like checking the boxes, but then also pushing it a little bit, but then also not taking itself too seriously. I really like that. And then Charlie is just like, the poet laureate of Bushwick. So
It must be said about Addison Rae. Like, so the first track on that album is called New York. And when she's going off, literally the lyrics are like, love New York, love New York, love New York, love New York. Like, you feel like you're listening to some like apocalyptic pop noises at first. And then a minute in, you are entranced. Like, she has solved something and it becomes good music that initially feels like it fell out of a pop machine. All I'm saying is she is changing the way things sound in a certain way. And I'm both excited and a little scared because, as you say, it hits a dopamine button in such a direct way that it's like muting a lot that came before it.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's what it is, where it's like it's taking 5 seconds of the reference and that is the whole song. Like,
Yes,
and
right.
I love that because I'm the type of person where there are certain songs where I will just go and listen to the 15-second bit over and over again, and I'm like, okay, I got what I needed. I don't need the rest. And I love it when an artist is like, I'm just going to give you that 15 seconds. Love that.
You are dialed into the TikTok of it all. You're saying I embrace
Oh,
it.
yes, I love it. Like, push it all the way. And I mean, I still like, there's a time and a place for everything. Like, I will go to a noise show where someone is hitting an F key for an hour straight at like Pioneer Works or some shit. I will do that. But when I want my dopamine, I want my dopamine.
It reminds me a little bit. Do you remember that guy Andrew WK, who when he would play the piano, like he had songs called like Party Hard, where it would be like hitting one piano key again and again, and people would be thrashing around like bleeding, like just like despairingly loving the music.
Yeah, I feel like there is something that is ancestral about that. Like, when
Oh, wow.
when a song is doing that, I'm in like a sweat lodge, I'm dancing, I'm working through something. Like, it's deep. It's deep.
Now we should talk about threesome a little bit more. The threesome a little bit more. What were your experiences filming this? What was it like working with this particular team?
It was first of all, we were in Little Rock, Arkansas in the winter, and that already presented a really new experience for me. I remember like getting ready to go, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be gone for like a month. I'm gonna be in Little Rock, Arkansas, and everyone in Brooklyn is like, are you gonna be okay? Everything all right? I'm in Little Rock and I'm like, yeah, I'm going back to New York next month. They're like, is everything all right? Are you going to be okay? So it was like definitely a change of scenery. What was crazy though is that I was like totally chill, totally fine. Like, that experience alone of shooting in another place like that, which is also, that's another thing I love about acting, is just like having a little pretend life somewhere for like a month and then
Nice.
just going back home. I love that part. So even just that aspect of being out of sorts in a way, I think really brought us closer together very quickly. So like the pretending to be friends thing was kind of easy because I'm like, I literally don't know anyone else at all. Like, you are the only people who I have any sort of like previous relationship with. Um, but the process itself was just really fun. Chad was so great to work with. I love Chad. Um, and so is the cast. I don't know. It just was like, it was also coming out of the strike, and I think everyone was just like, work. So thankful to be here. Like, we were just in such a great mood. So I don't know. It was just an overall really great experience.
It's always like they say, you must see Little Rock in January. You must. Oh my God. Everyone's at their best. They're most shining.
Yeah.
I got a chance to watch it. I really enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed you in it. I looked at the poster and I didn't know what I was getting into, and it surprised me on a bunch of different levels. And then the challenges kept escalating. I was on the ride the whole time. I thought it was well done.
Yeah, I remember watching it at the premiere at South by, and the reactions, just hearing or no in the theater. I was like, okay, people need to go see this in a room full of people. It like immediately I was like, okay, this is that kind of movie.
For sure. I was on my couch last night and I did a big gasp in Act 3. And so I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Now, you just said you went to South by for this, but obviously as a stand-up, you've been everywhere. What do you think is an underheralded American city for gay people to visit?
I am going to say Portland.
Which is, I'm going to say, a different subset of gay going on over there.
No,
Shall we
exactly.
say women? Yes.
But
They exist too, Akilah.
I've heard.
Yes, there are some I've heard. But I think Portland, because there is definitely a gay scene there. But I think you need to go to a city like Portland to truly figure out if the lifestyle you're living is the lifestyle you want or it's the one that was presented to you.
Oh,
because in
interesting.
Portland, they get so deep cut queer out there that like you immediately would be like, oh, this is interesting. Or like, nope, not for me. I need to go back to the coast. So I think Portland for sure.
Wow, you're saying it poses an existential question for gay people when they go there. Like you could be entirely wrong about yourself, is what you're saying.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow, that is very provocative.
I enjoyed the term deep cut queer.
They are lived in. Yeah.
And what is your answer to this question?
I don't have many. I mean, like I remember Guy Branum telling me once upon a time that you become a gay adult and you realize there's only 4 possible places you can live. And generally speaking, I thought that was correct in an elitist way. But if I had to add something, I might go with... I always have a little bit more fun in Washington, D.C. than I think I'm going to have. But I feel like that's sort of in the conversation. Like you can sort of be gay there and wear your, smart khakis.
I feel like DC is one of those warring cities where I feel like obviously New York, obviously LA, and then like Chicago, DC, and like Atlanta or like Houston or maybe Miami are always warring to be the third in line city.
Right. Yeah. Like they're all kind of on the poster for gay, but in small print. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. They're like in the Coachella gay lineup, in the gay-Chella lineup. Yeah.
Right. They're on like the third line with like Carly Rae Jepsen. Yeah.
Yeah. Surprisingly, like a lot of straight people there excited for the gay stuff. Yeah. I've heard that Carly concerts are like a lot of straight men.
But get this, I have 3 straight brothers and my 2 younger brothers go to Carly Rae Jepsen concerts all the time. And I just don't understand anything anymore.
Whoa.
And they are straight. I'm telling you, they look like, hockey culture. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Hockey culture.
So it's
that's
a particular
as heterosexual as you can get.
Right. Also, my last question for you is, I hear you like going to the Metrograph in New York and you will see an old movie on occasion. I was wondering if you'd seen any old movies in the theater recently that thrilled you.
Okay, that thrilled me. I saw The Trial by Orson Welles.
Oh, with Anthony Perkins, one of the great homosexuals of all time. Yes.
Yes, and I honestly, it's one of those films where I'm like, okay, this was important. This was an important movie to watch. Did I have fun necessarily? No. I learned a lot. But one of my favorite parts about it is the queer subtext in that film is like screaming at you, where it's basically this guy who's on trial for doing something wrong, but he doesn't think he did anything wrong. And it's like this Kafka-esque like paranoia that he develops. The entire time I'm like, oh, it's because you're gay. And everyone watching this was like, oh, that guy's gay. And I was like fascinated by it because he really is moving in a way where I'm like, I think those movements scanned as gay in any time in human history. Like, I don't think you could flop around like that and people not be like, this guy's a little sweet. Something
yes. I would describe, he had a resting seriousness that was also prissy. So like that could only read as gay. And someone like Orson Welles would have been keyed into that. He and Hitchcock, I think, both loved like attractive gayish people in peril. Like I literally think they thought it was funny.
It's kind of like inverse where like a gay man loves an attractive woman in peril. I think maybe I don't know. We're onto something. We really just tapped into a deep vein of film history there, I think.
Okay, well now I need an actual auteur to put you in a thing where you're a gay man in peril and he is just living for it.
I'm open. Ari Aster Hit me up.
Jaboukie, thank you so much for being here. The new movie, The Threesome, is in theaters now, and it's adorable, and you're great in it. And also, you're just hilarious anyway. And thank you so much for being here. And by the way, you're coming back sooner than later. This has been disgusting how long it took.
I know. Oh my God. Okay, I'm excited. We'll get into something new.
Gay and gayer. Yeah.